The 2006 Premiership season is brought to you by Toyota. Footy, oh what a feeling. Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning. Hungry Jacks, oh yeah. Tooheys Extra Dry, the clean, crisp taste. Harvey Norman, there's a store near you. And Motorola.
Hello, Moto.
Looking for Rucker. Oh, grab. Courageous effort. Oh, you've got to love that. Tearing out of midair. What a goal! Oh, that's a match winner by the skipper. Oh! Welcome to Saturday Night Football. The Brisbane Lions in round 15 taking on the Kangaroos at the Telstra Dome. Both teams with 5 wins and 9 losses, and the Lions have only won 1 of their last 5. This team, however, are on a roll. The Kangaroos have won their last 3. They've defeated Carlton, Essendon, and that terrific win last week over the Western Bulldogs. I'm Matthew Campbell. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're looking forward to a big night. We certainly are. I'm joined by David Parkin. And David, the question is, can the Kangaroos keep that winning form going?
I think they can. Their losses and wins haven't been against the best sides, I guess, and I think Kangaroos would start favourite tonight. Yeah.
The Lions haven't been great, but they've been around the mark without winning.
Yes, I've seen them a number of times this season, and whilst they played some good footy and haven't been able to convert on other days, they're somewhere below what we expect from the Brisbane Lions.
As you can see, both teams are around the same mark. The Lions with a little bit greater percentage, but they are at the Telstra Dome. It's only their second visit here this year, and they haven't been good at the Dome of late. Now, here's a good matchup. Petrie to take on Bradshaw.
Well, that's going to be one of the time-telling contests. Petrie does well against Bradshaw. They won't be able to score enough to win.
It releases Shannon Watt, who was terrific last week.
Did a great job on Johnson last week. An opponent I thought wasn't really appropriate, but did a lot quicker than I thought. Did a terrific job. Yeah.
Look for Luke Powell to be right next to Simon Black right throughout the night. He seems to be in the right spot.
Yeah, great combination.
It is, isn't it? One gets in under, and the other seems to be running past. Simpson on Voss. We look forward to that because a lot of people were writing Michael Voss off a few weeks ago.
Look, they're 2 old-timers. They play differently, but are important still to both their teams.
The Lions seem to have found a player in Riscatelli.
I love him. He's one of the hardest working players in the competition. I think heads up the competition in tackles laid.
Speaking of hard working, Harris so good at the clearances, and that's why the Kangaroos have been so good in the last month.
Yeah, Harris has now started to play in the manner which we think he can, and he's a key player in this midfield.
Lee Brown, another chance at centre-half forward. He covered a lot of ground last week.
Yeah, he's a hard worker, and I know he played in full-back, centre-half back, everywhere, but I think a centre-half forward, if he comes good there, Matt, then that'll be a real plus to them.
Well, we talked about Petrie and Bradshaw at one end. It's Thompson and Michael at the other.
No doubt. Tomo's got to kick 4 or 5 goals from the win, so if Michael will hold into 1 or 2, I think that'll allow the Brisbane Lions to get up.
Yeah, such a key matchup. Josh Drummond back in the side. He's had some problems with injury. Swallow and Pratt on the bench. 2 players you've enjoyed watching.
I have. A young fella I saw in the under-18s, Western Australian boy, I think, a skinny runner, and I hope he does well. He's a lovely kid.
Together with Schwartz and Harding, and for the Lions, their bench, Brad Scott, Matthew Moody, Martin Pask, and Ran Hooper's come to the side. He's got some genuine pace.
He hasn't. Hooper's an exciting player. You want him to be the standard that he can play.
A woeful day in Melbourne today, but the roof is on. We'll be upstairs, joined by Kevin Bartlett. That's 2 coaches right next to me. We'll also be joined by the super coach at the moment, Neil Danaher. And here he is downstairs with Tiff.
Thanks, Matty. Well, Neil, injury-wise, we've got the healthiest team in the competition in the Kangaroos. Only really Glenn Archer's a major injury. And compared to the Brisbane Lions, they've got 16 major injuries. And there is some concern over Jason Ackermanis coming into this game with his hamstring. But still, only percentage separates them. You've played both and had narrow wins over the 2. Who's got the ascendancy coming into the game?
Very evenly matched, obviously, where they are on the ladder. But Brisbane were fantastic last week against us. But I think at home, the Kangaroos coming off 3 wins are going to be hard to toss tonight.
And Simon Black was superb against you last week.
Yeah, he was. He had the flu, but he got it 40 times. So they're going to need to watch him, obviously.
And on the flip side, Daniel Wells was best on ground in the win last year against the Brisbane Lions. He's someone for the Lions to really look out for.
Yeah, he's their excitement machine. They'll look for Grant and Harvey and those guys, but Wells is the real excitement machine, and he needs to be able to get the ball down there to Thompson for them to score.
Thompson in great form, 5 goals last week. He's kicked 18 in the last month. How do you see the Thompson-Mel Michael matchup?
Oh, it's going to be critical. You know, Mal Michael, super form. He played on Neeks last week, but once David got on his bike and moved around, and Nathan's going to need to do that. Man-to-man, Mal Michael, you can't move him, so he's going to have to move.
And Mal Michael likes to kick a goal. What about Daniel Bradshaw? He kicked 8 last week.
Yeah, we ran him into some great form. Look, he's real key to him, Bradshaw.
Yeah, who's your tip for the night?
Oh, look, my tip tonight is probably the Kangaroos at home, even though Brisbane will give it a great contest. It should be a great contest tonight.
Back to you, Matty.
Thanks, Tiff. David, Neil's gone for the Kangaroos. He's hardly making a mistake at the moment, so you're going with him?
No, I think we'd have to agree with him. But we've got a contest with 2 great full forwards. How long since we've seen 2 teams playing are so dependent on those performances? So I think the Kangaroos just.
Yes, and it could be the start of a new rivalry. 2 teams to play out of southeast Queensland. We'll come back with the game right after this break. Saturday night football, the Kangaroos and the Lions.
As the weekend...
Welcome back to Telstra. The roof is closed, as you can see. It was raining just about solid all day today in Melbourne. Man who enjoyed watching his football today, and he's here again once on a Saturday evening. Kevin Bartlett, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Matty. I think this will be a great game. Kangaroos, of course, have rich vein of form. Carlton S and the Bulldogs, and I thought Melbourne last week, even though they defeated Brisbane Lions, the Lions were pretty darn good, just going down by 8 points. Very interested to see that Neil Danaher. It's great to have Neil Danaher standing alongside us as well, because he's the super coach of the competition.
He's 11 from the last 12, but let's head down the boundary level once again. Here's Tiff.
Thanks, Matty. Well, I tell you what, it's so nice to be undercover for the first time this year. The rain's not falling here, obviously. It is a little bit dewy in the air, but it hasn't. I just felt the ground then. It's completely dry, so good conditions down here. One thing that has come out of the Kangaroos rooms, I've just found out, is that Dean Ladley has put the heat on his 18 to 24-year-old players. He said if they don't play out of their skins, they will not win, and they certainly don't want to lose, obviously, what they've just had from their last 3 wins. So it's obviously a big game for the Kangaroos tonight.
Thanks, Tiff. And for the second week running, Simon Black tossing the coin instead of Michael Voss. And the Lions have won the toss, and they are kicking to the left of screen. And David Parkin, we talked about the big matchups up forward. If both full forwards are held, who comes into the game to kick goals for either side?
Well, I think Grant's been particularly good in a couple of games I've seen this year. I think if they're going in with the mindset of the 2 forwards being just their key focus, they'll run into a bit of trouble. I've got no doubt that they'll get on their bikes, both of them. I don't think Bradshaw and then will stand and push and shove. But there will be other players that will have to be used. If they're covered, let's find the people who aren't honouring their opponents and use them up. So, I think Wells is the supplier. He hasn't worked as hard as I would have liked to him this year in the 3 games I've seen him. So let's hope that he gets on his bike, opens it up and gives the delivery that forwards want.
There he is, Daniel Wells. 2 votes in the corresponding game against the Lions in the Brownlow medal last year. Nathan Thompson picked up 3 on that occasion, which the Kangaroos won. They've met 4 times here at the Telstra Dome. 1 win for the Roos and 1 draw, and 2 wins for the Lions. And there is Nathan Thompson. 37 goals, 23 for the season.
And I think Thompson's a really interesting story, because I think he's been an impact player, both as a ruckman and as a forward, for a long period of time. He's played spasmodically in that role. He's played as many poor quarters as he has good ones, and I think he's just blossomed as a player in the last 6 months of his career. Now he's very dependable in the role that he plays, which is not an easy role.
And Kevin, we saw Ackermanis go to Harvey. We look forward to that.
Yes, and playing out of defence, I suppose ackermanis.com.au is a human headline. He's got to play well for the Lions tonight.
Umpire Sean Ryan to begin proceedings. Round 15, each side will have met each other once after tonight, and one of these teams will move to 6 wins and 9 losses. McIntosh in the ruck for the Roos. Riscatelli the first hands for the Lions. Power just chipping over the top, a little bit untidy. Stiller to Voss. And a good spoil coming through from Rawlings, and Rawlings has the job on Black. Not surprising there, David.
No, and again, Black's back into his best form, and that will be a deciding individual contest.
Charman trying to get the front spot. Simpson in and under Harris. Is as good as anyone in the competition in that situation. Rawlings again in and under as well. Neil, you're back.
I'm back. It's interesting, the same tactic that Brown took to centre bounce. It was really effective on West last week, then goes to centre half forward. He's doing that tonight.
Charman to do the ruck work against McIntosh. We did see him a couple of weeks ago against Carlton. Got very angry during the course of the game. Here's Brady Rawlings at the bottom of the pack. And we've got a ball up. And there again, there's Charman just giving him one at the back of the head.
And Akinmanis is going very tight. He's going every inch of the way with Harvey.
Well, that's a big job, David, because Ben Harvey is a key player for the Kangaroos. And the whistle is gone. It's a free kick. Goes to McIntosh. Goes wide, looking for Watt. Surprised everyone last week with his job on Brad Johnson. Matching for pace. Here's Sinclair, the running half-back. Hammers the ball into the half-forward line. And Thompson over the top of Mel Michael. There's a lot of talk that Mel Michael should be the All-Australian full-back coming from Brisbane. But he'll be tested tonight by this man. He certainly tested the Demons, Neil.
He did, and what was interesting there, Thompson was able to get a jump at the ball. Michael will be trying to body him all night, and Thompson's fantastic when he can jump at the ball. It was a great mark.
Kicked 8 big ones against the Demons. He's usually a beautiful kick, leans back. It's just veering right and through for a behind.
First score of the evening to the Kangaroos. And it'll be Drummond to kick in for the Lions.
Young Stiller's got Grant, which is another very key matchup.
And this is Selwood ahead of Simpson. And the Lions defensive 50. Physio's been out to Jared Brennan for quite a while. And they're trying to find out whether he can continue. Selwood, Sherman, and Brennan comes off. Pass to go on. But for the Lions, it's Copeland, who has a paddock to run into. 40 metres clear, no one coming to him just yet. Waiting, trying to draw the man. Does so. Not too sure about that handball. Voss into the pocket. Merritt. He's got it inside his forward 50, but very hard to score from there. In fact, very hard to score from there when he kicks straight into the man on the mark.
Boys, Jared Brennan really disappointed then. He's taking his boot off now. He looks like he's rolled his left ankle.
Yeah, just in that scrimmage before, when the free kick came through. Here's the boundary throw in. Charman was looking for Black. Sherman, power, quick hands, not sure anyone there. Look at Makepeace get through. Hands free. Grant still all right with him, kept it going in the right direction. Here comes Wells. Puts on the afterburners. Inside the 50, still going Wells. What a great opening goal it'll be. And it is. Something from nothing, but gee, when he accelerates, it's just great to watch.
Set up by Makepeace. Look, he was fantastic last week against the Bulldogs, just getting onto that loose ball to Grant, straight down the corridor. And it was great that Wells finished, but he's hesitated. He hesitated. I don't want to shoot. He's fantastic when he just goes for it, and then he just lined it up straight through, and that's going to give him a lift and his team a lift.
So, you think he didn't want to kick it? You think he hesitated because he wasn't looking for a better option? He just didn't want to have the shot.
And next time he runs into a goal, he will kick it. He'll have the confidence.
Yep. Great start by the Kangaroos. Rawlings to Perito, who's strong in close. Pulls Black off the ball, then just rips the ball out of his arms. Taken by Grant. It came from Watt. Here's a runner through the centre square. Spears the ball in. Too much carry on the ball. Here's Thompson again. Lively. Out at centre half forward. It's a wild handball. Needs support. Power. Kicked off the ground by Green. This can bounce through. Wrong side. Minor score.
There is some positive news for the Lions. They are strapping at Brennan's ankle, not putting ice on it, so obviously there is some chance of him coming back.
Well, Thompson's taken Neil's advice. He's got on his bike. I haven't seen him so far up the ground as that. He was cutting through the centre square on the turn.
Don't see enough of Jared Brennan, do we? In fact, he finds himself injured and missing games. Such an important player since that opening game of his career when he looked like he was going to be a superstar. Chance for Green. Shares the ball around. Came from Rawlings, goes to Brown, stands and delivers. Missed.
As a coach, early in the game, you really need to nail these ones. You know, they've had the opportunity. Thompson, you know Brisbane will come back at some stage. You just got to nail those goals early in the game.
Drummond gets it from Ackermanis and heads wider in the Charman direction. Has a player running for him. It's Riscatelli. Now he's used. He can go over the top to Power. Thought about it and decided that he's going to go back through the middle. Well, he's put Charman under pressure. He's trying to run through the middle. Over the top, too much on it for Stiller. Notting. Selwood. Lines inside 50. Merritt the target. Runs underneath the footy. Watt with him. Now McIntosh goes back. Doesn't panic. In fact, that's a nice kick. Measured out to Harris. Patfoot helping out Selwood. Chips over the top, past the target. 60 metres from goal. Started on the bench, has replaced Brennan. And he heads deep into the pocket. Bradshaw's got a couple to beat. And well done by Drew Petrie. Forces the boundary throw in.
At this point, the Kangaroos have really worked back hard, strongly early, and each of the deliveries in has had to go very wide, so it's made it hard for Brisbane to score.
Chance for Brisbane, boundary throw in just 25 metres around from goal. Ackermanis, quick snap. He's off target. Through for a behind. Bradshaw, hard player to match up on, Neil.
Yeah, it's interesting they've gone with Petrie, and I understand that because he was too strong for Carroll last week. But Bradshaw's going to have to change his game tonight. He's going to have to lead on Petrie, not try and outmuscle him.
Made big goals last week. Here's a chance. Going to ground. Ackermanis was a tackler on Harvey. Voss just rockets the ball out wide. Taken by Pask. Ackermanis. A couple of early touches. Good for the confidence. Bradshaw playing in front to Harding. A live wire around the corner. Charman. Good grab.
Just a good example there, Kev. Bradshaw on his bike moving. He'll have to play that way on Petrie. If he moves around, Petrie will have a lot of trouble, but man-to-man, Petrie's very strong.
Jamie Charman's bid at 9 goals for the season.
And he's a big lump of a bloke, but he's got a reasonable amount of agility, hasn't he, for his size?
Well, he's such an important player, isn't he? With,
yep.
You know, Clark Keating has had a lot of injuries, emergency tonight, but Jamie Charman in form adds that strength and vigour. And he kicks a big goal.
That's what I'm talking about, in the sense that Kangaroos had their chances and they've missed their chances. It's very frustrating. The box comes down once, bang, goal. You know, it's very frustrating. Would be very frustrating for Dean. He knows they're playing well. He looks up at the scoreboard. There's hardly any difference in the score.
Do you send the runner out in that situation?
No.
I mean, we're going back a bit to Brown now, but I mean, you just let it go.
No, you got to let it go.
Yep.
But it does cost you. Yeah, they forget him at the end of the game. When you go down by 3 points, they forget those running shots missed early.
It's only the late ones they remember.
That's right.
Charman gets the first for the Lions, and the margin is 3 points.
Both teams setting up with a spare at centre bounce. Both teams got one back.
Margin is actually 2 points, it should be. We'll just get that confirmed. This is Stiller. Spreading it wide, looking for Riscatelli. Simpson gets an awful bounce. It sits for Riscatelli. Brings Charman into the game for 2 goals in a minute. Perhaps a little bit ambitious from 50 metres on the run for the big man, and that is out of bounds on the full.
That Brown bit's working well. Not even only for the centre bounce that was done, but for the rebounds later, they brought Brown in to do the ruck work, and McIntosh went to centre half forward.
Pratt to Sinclair, chips the ball, looking for Wells, glides onto the ball, he's on centre wing. Strong lead. Too much carry that time for Green, taken away by Copeland. Finds Sherman. Here's a running machine to Moody. Young man in a hurry, hammers the ball to the half-forward line. Getting back this time. Couldn't quite take it. And a big pack of players, and of course that was Marty Pask. He started on the bench.
Jared Brennan has been given the all-clear to come back on.
Well, that's good news. Thanks, Tiff. Boundary throw in right on 50. Merritt to do the ruck work. Beaten by Hale. Defensive side. Again, Wells. With that accelerating pace, can't quite get the ball across to Jones, and again a toss back in. Lee Harding warming up, good at 16 goals for the season. This time Perry does his own roving, looks for Jones, ripped off the ball, Harris. Strong tackle that time by Selwood, and Simpson takes Moody over the line as well.
On 3 plays 1-1. We've got 13 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Not much in the game at the moment, and a lot of the matchups still trying to sort themselves out. Harris in and under. Ratings right, Brady Rawlings, I should say, right with Simon Black. There's a whistle on the play, and it's a kick to Sinclair. And he heads in the Hale direction. Surely Drummond infringed, and he did. Hale takes the free kick, centre wing. As Harris comes to the bench for a spell. Kangaroos still in possession. Simpson wheels onto his left. Heads in the Thompson direction. Up goes the big man almost. Yes, it's been paid. He's got it.
We see already he's in just magnificent marking form. What the coach will be looking for is in great kicking form. He's missed one. He's dead in front. He looks like he's in for a good night. Now he just needs to just finish this one off to get his own confidence going in front of goal.
He had a fair case, didn't he, when he just put the hands up and said, look, I controlled that on the way down. Now he needs to put this through, as Neil said. 35 metres out. Gets it close to the post, but it's a goal. His first for the evening, the Kangaroos second. 38 for the season. They get out to an 8-point lead, but 2 big, strong run, attack at the ball.
He's an excitement machine now, because he really says, this is mine, doesn't he? And he absolutely hangs on to it in a way that it's just demoralising for his opponents. His opponent's one of the best players, I think, that's played that position ever.
Good understanding from Adam Simpson and the full forward. He knew it was a left footer, and he just opened up, and Thompson comes straight out.
Brennan on the phone, getting a message from Lee Matthews. 2-3-15 the Kangaroos, 1-1-7 the Lions. Kangaroos by 8 points. Mel Michael, I agree with you, David, one of the best punching defenders we've ever seen, but when you leap as high as Thompson, it's hard to get the fist on the ball. Kangaroos hot the trot. Hale. Grant was running hard, wanted the ball inside 50. Getting back was Michael. Maybe lost a little bit of confidence. Notting. Switches direction. Finds Drummond. Just looking for that spare player. Merritt makes a long lead from centre half forward. Good kick. Falls over at the critical moment. Simpson backtracks to Wells. As they wax on the edge of the centre square. Rawlings from Schwarz spears the ball in and taken away by Drummond. Impressive young player for the Lions. Hammers the ball wide. Looking for Bradshaw. Didn't quite attack it hard enough, and Petrie got the lucky bounce he wanted. It was a kind bounce. Hammers the ball back to centre wing. And Grant just read it beautifully. Shannon Grant. Game number 252 tonight. Finds Sinclair. He loves to set it up from halfback.
And they're just patient here. We've seen both Grant and Sinclair just waiting for some support, because the Lions have got plenty of numbers back just outside their defensive 50. It's taken their time to get in there. Right towards the goal square. Michael doesn't mind rushing a point or kicking one from 30 metres out. He's at the wrong end. They're not clear yet. We'll have another boundary throw-in. Lee Matthews with plenty to say so far. His team down by 8 points, and Merritt's gone to the bench. Another good tackle. This is Swallow in and over the top of Scott. Started on the bench. Umpire Grunt to bounce it up. And so far the midfield matchup's working for the Kangaroos. Lions playmakers struggling to get into the game.
And Sherman struggling to stay with Wells at the moment. He's really started the game well, young Wells. Sherman's sticking to him now, but once he gets moving around, he drops off him pretty quickly.
Here is Wells ahead of Sherman. Tunnel ball through. Harvey and Ackermanis. Brennan off the bench. That ankle looks okay. Stiller, well, set up his teammate. Voss is there to help out. And there's a push in the back, and the free kick will go to the Lions captain. Right in the middle of the ground. They trail by 8 points, and Voss quickly plays on to Brett Scott. Scott spreads it wider towards Moody. The kick is untidy. It's out in front of him. There's 2 Kangaroos back. Bradshaw's got to beat both. Kick is a low one. Makepeace, Red at the best. Sinclair gets a call out the back. Watt, in turn, Petrie, now Grant. And some veterans share it, they're away here.
Plenty of numbers for the Kangaroos. Simpson finds Makepeace, comes out of the back pocket. Kicks a high ball. He was looking for Schwarz. Here's Sherman at ground level. Good support. Ackermanis inside the centre square. Rockets the ball wide. There's his partner in crime in Voss. Back to Sherman. Young man from Tasmania inside 50. Bradshaw. Second grab's got it. Well, he's the go-to man. Coming off 8 goals last week.
It's a remarkable thing. I think it's so hard to get the ball to a bloke in 50 with the numbers just gravitating through the square and into the front half at both ends of the ground. To find him amongst 2 blokes shows a superb effort by the player, but a great kick to find him.
Directly in front, 40 metres out. Kicks a goal.
See Simon Black come off the ground and he's tagged Brodie Rawlings straight off with him. So Simon Black, I think he's going to have Brodie Rawlings all night, Kev.
Hasn't touched it yet too, Neil, so that's a win so far for Dean Laidley.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Riscatelli's playing on Harris. Selwood and Harris have Selwood and Riscatelli both had a crack at Harris, and Sherman on Wells.
So Bradshaw gets his first. So Thompson won at one end, Bradshaw won at the other. We talked about it prior to the game. So important, the key forwards. Well, there's not much in this game at the minute. 2-point margin. Here's Swallow bouncing through the centre. Couldn't quite get boot to ball. Wells helps him out. Schwarz. Ferrito it was, I should say. And that is a superb kick to Thompson. Was Ben Schwarz, actually. It's what, the first time.
Neil, I just wonder whether this ground is any different with the size of it in terms of the amount of run that has to be done by everybody. Is that reality or just a figment?
I find it a smaller ground, easier to flood back on.
And easier for him to kick. Sorry, Neil, there's another goal to Nathan Thompson.
So to play the same style of game, Neil, that was played, say, on the MCG last night, it's a little easier in physical output to play here.
You don't need to... there's a lot more space to cover at the MCG compared to here. A lot harder to flood at the MCG. A lot easier to flood. That's why numbers get behind pretty quickly here.
Yep.
Not so easy at the G.
Kangaroos by 8 points. That man on screen has booted 2 goals. He's got a beautiful kicking action. Looks so dangerous. Charman doing the ruck work. Ferrito, good in close to Harris. Underrated midfield for the Kangaroos. Goes wide to Harding. Starts on the bench, comes on as an impact player. Good at 16 goals for the season. Good to see Brennan back also for the Lions. Does well, traps the ball. Watt uses his body. Corey Jones to Sinclair. Playmaker across half-back, looking for McIntosh. Got an ugly bounce. Simpson burrows in for the ball. Looking for Brown. Ricochets off his hands, taken away by Hooper. Sherman. Now some run. Maybe Patfull. Goes to ground. Voss. Wrapped up in the tackle that time by McIntosh. Take 2 for Sherman. To Moody, squeezed up on the boundary line. Now finds a bit of space from Stiller, who's just been great over the last 2 weeks again. They were looking for Bradshaw. Hooper was at ground level. Pask doing the chasing. Finally can't keep the ball alive, and Hale puts it over.
Deliberate, Kevin.
And he's been pinged for it. Stiller into the pocket. Here's Bradshaw. Great defensive punch by Petrie. Well, we've seen him as a ruckman. We've seen him as a centre-half forward. Can he make it as a key defender, David?
He's failed in the other ones, in my opinion. He started a great centre-half forward, and I thought he should be able to do this role, so let's hope he can.
Be very important for the Kangaroos. They got Jonathan Hay to be that key defender. Hasn't quite cut the mustard, but maybe Petrie could be the man. Very close to the boundary line.
Brennan's doing it pretty tough at the moment, just back on, and his head butted a teammate.
It was Stiller, was it? Stiller ran in. They both put their head down and ran headlong into each other.
Zinedine Zidane. Paddling the ball along in front. Swallow. Young man from East Fremantle. Harding. To Ferrito. Wrapped up in the tackle. Casey Green. Good play that time by Brown. Thumps the ball forward. Here's a chance. Harvey got rid of Ackermanis, the danger man. Looking for Wells. Great play. Great vision. Got rid of Acker.
It was, Kevin, from the moment Brown hit the ball on, that really opened up beautifully. But I'd have to say the previous 3 minutes was an absolute 3 minutes of disastrous possession, handball, poor disposal. And what eventually came was a fabulous piece of setup right across from one side of the ground to the other.
Daniel Wells will kick from just inside 50. Going for goal number 2. Straight through the heart of the Brisbane Lions.
And Ferrito, who's been looking after Boston, done a reasonable job too. They're both coming up together. It's like old-time footy. Go with your mate wherever he goes, including up the race.
The Brisbane Lions be looking like Simon Black just back on. They're not getting a lot out of Luke Power at the moment. Vossi off, so they're the blokes I'll be looking for to just lift with about 5 or 6 minutes left in this quarter.
An important 5 minutes for the Kangaroos, leading by 14 points. Wells joining Thompson with 2 apiece to get that margin to 14, and it's Merritt and McIntosh in the middle. Black, his first touch. Scott, well, he went back the other way. Sherman has to hit the body from here. He does to Notting. Green right with him. Notting's not sure where to go. He's told to play on. And he spots Drummond in the middle of the ground. Kick finds its mark. Merritt provides an option. And he has to go. And he's got the height advantage over Harris. They just don't have a centre-half forward in this situation, the Lions. They've got to wait and eventually try and get it to Bradshaw. They'll mess it up. This is Hooper. Good take at ground level. Lovely tackle from Swallow. Grant caught high. Gets the free kick. In fact, Swallow already had the free kick and he went wider to Harris. He's an open player. 75 metres now from goal. Harris, where's Thompson? There he is in the pocket. Got him. Thompson well on top at the moment. It's a tough kick, but we know when he's hot, he can kick these quite easily.
He's carving up Mal Michael.
It was a terrific kick. I think if it was meant, it did go long, but it actually went to where he could get his body away from Mal Michael and take a very easy mark. It's not an easy shot from there, but great piece of work, and that's been the difference. The Kangaroos have used the ball into 50 much more effectively than Brisbane.
For his third, on the reverse angle, wrong side of the post, just to behind, margin out to 15 points. But Thompson, 2 goals, 4 shots on goal. If he continues in this vein, he's in for a big night.
Kangaroos by 15 points.
Yeah, well, it's 10-8 inside 50, and you'd think that would have put Brisbane in front, but in fact their usage in has been fairly ordinary.
Simon Black with just that one possession. 36 last week against the Demons, has been averaging 25 for the season. Key player, his power, cross half back, finds some space, finds Moody. Looking for some run, the Lions, and finds it in Sherman, who loves to run with the ball. He's a bouncing machine, runs to 50, that kick's a shocker. Just tumbled off the boot, found Petrie, and now can open up, could be a monumental turnover. Simpson finds Pratt coming off half back. Kangaroos are dangerous as they move the ball quickly into their forward line. Wasn't paid to Green, taken away by Scott. Trying to find Drummond. Can usually use the ball well. This time just belts the ball back towards centre forward. 3 against 1. Bradshaw, they go down like bowling pins. Make that pass, bounces to his feet, hooks it around because Bradshaw's going to be the target now. And again, Petrie with that big fist bangs it over the line.
Bradshaw would have been disappointed with Sherman coming through 50. He lost Petrie on a lead. Sherman ignored him and they kicked it straight to Petrie.
Brendan doing the ruck work. Swallow. Impressive young player for the Kangaroos. Finds Simpson. And he just bowls over Harris, who bounces to his feet. Schwartz went down in the tackle. Caught head high that time. No free kick. Pratt the tackler. Tough encroach. Good in the clinches as Makepeace. Riskatelli's at the bottom of the pack. And we've got a ball up, and that was tough passage of play.
Well, there's nothing else.
Look at Harris as well. You watch Harris here.
There's plenty
right in the back of Stiller.
Plenty of intensity, isn't it, KB?
4-4-28, the Kangaroos. 2-1-13, the Lions. Chance for Brisbane. Riskatelli tried to find Sherman. Desperate play by Harding. Back to Pask. Stands and delivers. Right to the line. Bradshaw. A one-hander. He's strong. I think we can call this a tight angle, David.
Yes.
Opens it up. Hits the post, does he? One behind.
Well, they worked pretty hard for that, didn't they? I mean, they had to use strong bodies, etc. There's nothing very fluid about their entry and finish, which is really worrying at the moment. They don't have easy access or efficiency in forward movement.
Harvey, the recipient of the kick-in. Makepeace on hands and knees, still managed to get it to Petrie, and away goes Harvey. Player in a long lead for him, Simpson. Up the wing, Notting with Brown, and a spoil from Notting. Kangaroos much more fluid in their movement forward. They lead by 14 points, just over a minute remaining. It'll be McIntosh and Merritt once again. 2 young ruckmen. Selwood and Harris, Simpson and Riskatelli. It's one-on-one footy there, and underneath all that is Swallow. There's a lot to like about him, as you mentioned before the game. David,
well,
he has a crack.
He dominated the under-18 championships, I think, as West Australian captain.
Power, Bradshaw, he got rid of Petrie that time, and that's what he's looking for, Neil. That's the opposite to what Sherman did.
Yeah, they were able to get it down there really quick, and their ruckman is trying to drop back and give support to Petrie. Wasn't able to get into position, so a good example of getting it down there quickly.
So Bradshaw lining up for his second. Good shot of what's ahead of him. He needs it to bend back a bit. It's holding its line. Gets to the line, and we have another behind for the Lions. They move on to 2-3. And we're inside the last 30 seconds of the first quarter.
As Makepeace goes short. Finds Perry in the back pocket to Pratt. Kangaroos be very happy with their opening term. 28-15, the lead by 13. Just tempo football, we call this, Neil.
I think the players know there's probably only seconds left. They just don't want to concede a goal. They're not too worried about kicking one. They just don't want to concede one just now, Kev.
Pratt goes wide, finds Watt as the siren sounds. And a good quarter for the Kangaroos. 4-4-28, the Brisbane Lions 2-3-15.
Goals to Wells and goals to Thompson, 2 apiece for the Kangaroos. For the Lions, goals to Charman and Daniel Bradshaw, although he's had a couple. But Nathan Thompson, the danger man, we spotted him. He started that way. We'll take a break here on Saturday Night Football. The Kangaroos leading by 13 points over the Lions.
Heritage Round.
A Fit Choice star recently inducted into the Australian Football Hall of Fame.
Yes, Johnny Murphy.
Plus a man that we simply call Fingers.
Philip Purnell from Carlton.
Then join me for a classic
time here at the Telstra Dome, with the Kangaroos leading by 13 points. They've got 2 each to Thompson and Wells. For the Lions, Bradshaw and Sharman 1 apiece. Sherman's got 10 disposals, but he's been on Wells, who's got 9. Much more damaging with a couple of goals as well. Simpson and Sinclair working really hard for the Kangaroos. Their midfield on top. As we look at the disposals, Kangaroos have had more disposals. Neil, I guess to the inside 50s, the Lions have been in more times. They just haven't had any fluency whatsoever.
No, they haven't. The Kangaroos have got more run in their game. The game's going with clearances. The Kangaroos have been able to sweep the ball away. And I think the Lions have been a bit stagnant and probably a little bit slower going inside their own 50, which hasn't allowed them to really set up some easy flowing goals.
Let's head down to the boundary, find out what's happening at ground level. Here's Tiff Cherry.
Well, Matthew, no injury concerns for the Kangaroos. Great news for them. We did see Jared Brennan come off for the Lions with that left ankle. He rolled, but he is fine. He's had that strapped, and we saw him come back on and have an impact. Also, Jason Ackerman had some work done on his left hip flexor, but he appears to be okay.
Thanks, Tiff. 4-4-28. The Lions 2-3-15. And we talked about up front all the matchups. So the matchups through the middle, we've touched on the fact that Voss, Power, Black, they're not getting a lot of the ball, David, and they're not looking dangerous to help as goal kickers as well.
And that's essentially where the movement has slowed down. Without those players with quick heads, quick hands and very good disposal, hasn't allowed a good setup going forward. And I guess that we've got to say, well, Rawlings has done well, Ferrito's done well, and Corey Jones in his capacity on power has been a very, very good player. So those matchups, unless they're broken and the Brisbane take the risk, as they did a couple of times, really just, I reckon movement creates movement. If you stop and hold up when you're not really sure, well, no one's going to move. But if you actually start to move, despite it looks pretty crooked ahead of you, something will happen. And I think that's the risk that Lee Matthews will have told them. They just have to take the ball under their arm and go on when it looks like it's going to be difficult to go on.
So 13-point margin. Bradshaw's had a couple to beat at times, and Thompson's had 4 shots on goal at the other end. And Voss starting on the bench, so Ferrito having to win in that matchup. I've enjoyed watching Ackermanis on Harvey. Ackermanis 5 disposals, Harvey 4. Set to go second quarter. Kangaroos up early. Looking the goods at the moment. Wells will get a free kick in the back. If you go in first off the line and get there first, that's how you get the opportunity to get that. Jones playing on quickly. Hale not sure where to go. Jones bounced in to help him out. 60 metres from goal. Spots a play. Thompson free again. Wheels around. Looks pretty good off the boot. Just hooked it too far. He had time. And with his ability, very capable of kicking that. Let's just take a look at Daniel Wells. Jamie Charman just coming over the top. Physio came out, but he's
hurt his arm.
Appears to be okay at the moment. Once again, this time it was Schwarz going back and getting in the way for the Kangaroos, and Wells just checking that arm out. Boundary throw, and it'll be Hale and Charman. And the stoppages is where the Kangaroos are on top. Moody standing in the way. Lovely tackle from Harris. He's swamped by Selwood, and he gets a free kick. Too high. Harris to take the kick. And it's a pretty open forward line for Thompson. He's got a lot of space. They're staying away. Harris called to play on. Eventually goes in the Thompson direction and gets him.
He's really moving around well at the moment, Thompson.
It's going to go short. Spots a player in green and the former West Coast Eagle. Will kick from about 45 metres out. Bit of an angle to deal with.
It's really important here, Matty, that Green and these other forwards like Brown become dangerous. Otherwise, all the Brisbane line backs will just peel off and go to Thompson.
Yep. It's a pretty good kick for goal, Green. Makes no mistake this time. That's a terrific start for the Roos. First blood in the second quarter. Casey Green getting goal number 10 for 2006. And Thompson involved once again.
Was he a major loss for West Coast? They didn't see him in the capacity he's now starting to play, did they? I mean, he was given away.
Flank,
yeah,
came in sort of 24th, 25th player.
And he's actually become a pretty competent player for the Kangaroos.
That is a very important kick. for Green and the Roos at the start of this second term.
Kangaroos by 20 points, 5-5-35. The Lions 2-3-15. Question is, Neil, if they have to make a change on the Thompson, who else can go on to Thompson apart from Mal Michael?
Yeah, it's a real problem. Down the other end, the Kangaroos have got a number of players they could possibly put on Bradshaw, but the next best fullback for the Lions is Bradshaw.
They don't want to do that.
No.
Here's Rawlings, deep into the forward line. Casey Green, the danger man, confidence is high. He's just kicked the goal. Going to ground is Patfull.
I was amazed that just didn't have plenty of space to get to Thompson when he lit up then. Why didn't the Brisbane Lions work back at that point? I was right. They had plenty of times, a slow movement forward, nobody in there, plenty of space for Thompson to be got at.
Boundary throw in. Here's Hale strutting his stuff at ground level. Kicks a high ball. Here comes Thompson again. Got his hands onto the Sherrin. Can't keep it alive, and Ackerman is happy to see it over the line for a behind. Quick to play on. Finds Drummond at centre-half back. Loping left footer. Great grab taken by Pask. That might lift the spirits. Gives it across the Notting. Runs into a brick wall. In the shape of Perry, here's Harris, goes to ground. Brennan tickles the ball along. Can't keep it under control. Still in. Squeezed up on the boundary line. Kangaroo players in the end come away with the ball is Schwarz.
And Pasca's a bit of an improver too. He came basically as a defender, but appears to be becoming a bit of a target up front.
Well, he'll attack the footy.
Here's Hale doing the ruck work with Sharman. Briscatelli goes to ground, wrapped up in the tackle, is caught high. Having a very good season. Briscatelli. Bradshaw's always going to be a target, but again, playing in front is Simpson. Bit of experience getting back. They know Bradshaw's the go-to man.
There's no doubt about that, and he's the only bloke inside 50, and the Kangaroos players will just drop back on him all night unless they can find another dangerous forward.
Pratt goes wide, finds Hale, who's a much improved player, pretty versatile, can kick a goal as well. Here's Casey Green, bit of a danger across the half-forward line. Shannon Grant can't keep it alive.
And West Coast people might say that's why he was allowed to go, because he dropped his just of chest marks. He might be spasmodic in his application.
Boundary throw in right on the 50 for the Kangaroos. Hale, good second quarter so far. Here's Green. Back to Hale. Same names popping up. Jones threading through some traffic. Lovely bounce for Harvey. He's a goal kicker. 40 metres out. Makes no mistake. Harvey kicks the goal. The Kangaroos win another stoppage. Another clearance from a boundary throw-in. And they're at the footy first.
Big question for Lee Matthews right now is, can he kick a winning score with Bradshaw one out inside 50? Kangaroos are flooding back. We saw the skipper get back and the ball go to the other end. Lee's not getting a lot from a lot of the young players around Bradshaw. He may need to keep a couple other deeper and have more options.
Kangaroos by 27 points. 6-6-42, plays 2-3-15, and again Charman will come charging in. Harris had the ball and lost it. Rawlings was there as well. Schwarz, much improved player to Wells. A bit of magic coming up for the Kangaroos. Looking for Brown, couldn't take it. Good play by Patfull that time. Wells had a second grab at it, going to ground that time. Here's Harris, is a very, very strong tackler on Patfull. And we've got a ball up inside the Kangaroos 50. Sharp work out of the centre.
The only other bloke with size, Neil, is Patfull, the bloke Pask, the bloke we talked about, and he's playing well up.
Here's Grant, had it and lost it. Toe poked it off the ground. Drummond trying to work his way out of trouble. Simpson, can he find Wells? Dangerous in close, going to ground is Rawlings. Power, trapped up on the boundary line. Looping handball, finds Selwood. He just has to belt the ball out of defence, head towards the boundary line. And that's a good result for the Lions.
Kangaroos well on top at the moment. Yep. They seem more confident, attacking the ball with a lot more confidence.
11 possessions to Wells, 11 to Simpson, 9 to Sinclair, 7 to Thompson. He's already had 5 scoring shots, 2-3 Sherman. 10 times and Riscatelli 8 and Drummond 8. So some young guns trying to work a bit of magic in front. Here's Harris over the top. Came from behind. Read it well. Selwood stands the mark.
Doesn't look confident, Kev. Too far out?
Yep, beyond him.
Well, he'll be shooting from right on 50. He's bid at 5 goals for the season. So he concedes ground and finds Pratt. I think he's too far out now, David.
It's 3 kicks away now instead of 2.
Thompson again. Wants it wide. Heads in the opposite direction and finds Simpson. Winning a lot of the ball. Possession number 12. The skipper goes short, finds Harris. Well, he's still too far out.
Oh.
Sherman got the fist away. Kangaroos look dangerous inside 50. Ackermanis is appealing for a free. Takes a sneaky look and he's got a ball up.
I think I would have popped that up. I think I would have done the old sit it up in front of the 10-metre there. I think Harris should have done that the first time. They've got enough potency down there at the moment and a bit of scoreboard pressure to take that risk.
Brennan thumps the ball forward. Here's Wells, just glides on the ball, gives it across to Harvey, and the Kangaroos are in control.
And they're racking up possession here as they share it around. Harvey got it back from Rawlings and chips it back. This time Sinclair is still only on centre wing. So many players around the 50-metre line. That's where it heads. Notting got back in front of Simpson. Stiller around the corner. Sinclair there for the Kangaroos. The ball falls over the back. Riscatelli. Scott sharing with Sherman. Lions trying to set a player up. Charman provides an option, and then straight up the middle, Bradshaw. No one home for the Lions. If Bradshaw's got it here, it's an open forward 50. Ackermanis. Now he's got some space. 55 metres from goal, measures the pass. Into the pocket went Paskett, he spilled it. Nice bit of work. The pressure came just in time from Perry. I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, Ackermanis would have taken him on and had a ping. Selwood underneath. Harris right with him again. Well, 30 metres out from the Lions' goal.
Well, they put power back onto Harvey now, and I think the call that Neil was saying, who's going to get up there and kick a goal, maybe it's the Brownlow medalist who's the one who's going forward, and he might be the one.
Flicked out towards Riscatelli. Hard to get free there. Sinclair does, though. He throws it onto the boot. Power, the man that David Parkin just mentioned, can give it over to Stiller. Instead goes up the middle to Charman. He gave it to Drummond, who didn't really want it. Spins out of trouble, hooks around the corner. Play with a little bit of space is Riscatelli. Thought about Black, kicked it himself. He might have kicked the goal. He has. They did it the hard way. Neil, they did it the hard way, but they got it.
Yeah, missed tackles. Drummond runs straight into a tackle. He should have been put on the turf, all up. He gets through the tackle. That would be really disappointing for Dean Laidley. He was able to break the tackle and sets up a goal out of nothing.
Special comments from Neil Danaher, our special guest in the commentary box, current coach of Melbourne. Spot on once again.
Hooper's on for the Lions, and Jared Brennan takes a breather. 42 plays 21. Kangaroos by 21 points. They're led by 13 points at quarter time as Charman again gets his hands on the ball. Voss, can he weave a bit of magic for the Lions? Voss and Black. Just need to get their hands on the ball. Drummond hammers the ball inside 50. Getting back as Bradshaw needs a climb, bounce, gets it. Can't keep the ball alive. Puts it through for a behind.
Well, he might be a one-man band down there, but he's a very good band. He's done remarkably well with the opportunities against the numbers that he's had.
One of the rare times Brisbane will be able to get it out of the centre, and they'll need to start winning a bit more around the clearances to get that drive they need.
Makepeace, Mr. Dependable's got it in the back pocket. Watt wanted it short. Finds Rawlings. So it's take 2. to Swars. He's added a bit of size to the Kangaroos, Swars, hasn't he? Just an extra bigger player in defence, along with Perry and Petrie, so they've sort of reorganised that defence.
He can take a number, can't he? He can go against the smalls and he can handle the taller ones.
And Pratt, good kick, finds Swallow. The run will come from Sinclair. Here's the running machine across from half-back, the playmaker. To Makepeace, to McIntosh, runs to 50, unloads, gives it a ride, and is through from behind. Let's go down to Tiff.
Guys, yeah, the umpire just had a fairly long word to Drew Petrie. Then you just see here, he actually climbs the goalpost. The umpire wasn't too happy, and Drew Petrie just gave him a little bit of a tab. Obviously, it was just an accident.
Just a little reminder, as Voss flicks it over to Drummond, who's doing some running out of the back half of the Lions. Chipped it up the line to Bradshaw. Gone back through the middle to Voss. And again, stilted approach. Scott. Well, flashes up his eyes, thinks I'll go for home, I'll go to the goal square. Patful almost an impossible mark. And they have time, the Kangaroos. They don't think about the rush behind. Sinclair gets it to Perry, and they're confident enough that they can keep hold of the ball here. Ferrito, and turn to Grant once again. Possession. Here comes Thompson. Out in front of Michael, long way from goal. Wells running very hard. Thompson goes back though. Shannon Grant. They're lining up through the middle. Simpson. The captain not sure. Back to Thompson. Still just a tad too far from goal. Here's a player running into the pocket, running hard for Ferrito. The kick not measured well. Ferrito kept it in. The line should be able to run it out here. Alcamanis has to be spot on. Wasn't. Grant just dropped it. Cooper. Clean take. Not clean with the feet though. Oh. Set Sherman up. Coming through Makepeace. Sherman went again. Makepeace. Underneath all that, he was keeping the ball in the area, and he's getting the applause from his teammates. They know exactly how clever that was.
Neil, why is it that we're very loath, you're the super coach at the moment, not to belt the ball in the goal square? They had Big Hale standing in the goal square. He's about 6'6", but they didn't want to kick it to him.
No, it was interesting, both sides. Thompson outside 50 and Bradshaw outside 50, both outside 50, and teams didn't know what to do next.
But we don't like to kick it to a contest in the goal square. Patfield tried to find Scott, put him under pressure because Harvey closes quickly. Voss with those magic hands finds a run of power. So some big guns combining now for the Lions, but he's got no one to kick it to. Here's Hooper, closing quickly that time, just couldn't quite get the fist away. It was Pratt, taken by Still up to Riscatelli. Can he kick another goal? Yes, he can. He's got two big ones. Well, a lot of talk about this young man as being their young gun. Really starting to make big waves.
He's a real worker, Kevin, and I think young Hooper is one that doesn't work hard enough. He's just not getting to enough. He had a couple of possessions in the last few minutes. First time he's looked alive and absolutely focused and applying himself. He's got so much talent and so much speed. He's just got to learn to work harder.
And Riscatelli, the unlikely goal kicker with 2 in a row. The Lions were searching for an option to goal, and they've found it through a midfielder.
Well, and he's a derby because he works his butt off. He's absolutely fantastic worker, Riscatelli.
Kevin Sheedy just jotted his name down. I think he's out of contract. He's going after everyone.
Goals 6 and 7 for the season for him. Ackermanis with the clearance. The numbers for the Kangaroos, but somehow it gets to Bradshaw. He's still going. He busts the tackle. There's the goal kicker, Riscatelli. Harding shares it with Voss. Voss kicks another goal. The Lions have found something from nothing.
What does Dean Lately think now, Neil? All of a sudden there's bang, 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 3 goals.
Started out of the clearance. Vossi gets his hands on the ball to Acker, the old guard, get the ball forward. Bradshaw gets it. Vossi's got enough energy to get himself forward, and they're starting to find some goal kickers.
Yes, they've only got Simon Black to lift his game. Simon's been under real control by Rawlings all the way. If he were to lift his game now, that would get him right back into it.
Well, Michael Voss, can he inspire the Lions? Interesting to see that at top of the possessions, Drummond, Riscatelli and Sherman, 12, 12 and 11. So some young players keeping the Lions in this game. They trailed 34-43 by 9 points. Chance for Ferrito, wrapped up in the tackle by Voss, one of the best in the business. Speaking of the devil, there's Black. Finds Selwood, caught high. Wrong side at the umpire. Ball up inside the centre square.
I better name a couple of others. We can get them all up and going.
Merritt having a crack in the ruck. Rawlings to Harvey. Finds Pratt on centre wing. Happy to transfer the play to Sinclair. Always likes to find space. Finds Schwarz. Penetrating kick, quick through the air. Beautiful kick. And finds Harding, who glides backwards. He's had a very good season coming off the bench as an impact player. He's booted 16 goals, and his kicking has really improved. Once it was a weakness, now it looks like it's a strength. Lee Harding. Bit of an angle. He'll be shooting from 35 metres out. Just a stem. Bit of blood from the Brisbane Lions. And fought back in this second term. Great camera shot there as Harding hits the post.
There were a few of those in your game last night, Neil, weren't they? I've never seen so many posters in one night.
Was there 6-0?
I wouldn't mind if they were the opposition, but they're all ours.
Yes.
Margin is 10 points, and Drummond to bring it in for the Lions, and he measures the pass to Scott.
Really important part of the game just now. You know, Brisbane Lions just starting to get back on top, and the Kangaroos are getting challenged for the first time. See how they respond. They've
got the advantage here, Neil. The free kick was originally there. Jones haven't made the most of this advantage, though, because they've had to go backwards. Harvey all the way back to Hale. Trying to set up a loose man. Ferrito's getting free. Rawlings spotted him. Well, it's Schwarz.
Well done by Harding then. You know, he just had the awareness that Ferrito was coming across him, and he didn't cannon into him. The ball spills, runs down the other end. It was well done by Harding just to pull out the last second.
And he was in pretty good position himself, Neil, wasn't it? You'd be very tempted to go when you're an impact player and there's a chance to kick a goal. So I agree with that. A very good sacrifice for a teammate.
He's only kicked the one goal in his very short career. Right behind it. It's just drifting, but it's through. A goal to Schwarz. Margin back out to 16 points. He celebrates. He's been very good in this second term at both ends of the ground.
And the brothers now have one each, don't they? They have one each. Big goal here from his brother not so long ago going to the other end.
Yes.
And he'd be able to match it up with his brother in the lounge room and say, this is as good.
They worked it nicely. They waited, found a man free inside the forward 50. He didn't let him down with a set shot on goal. He was pretty happy about it too.
Game number 5 for Ben Schwarz.
In the context of the game, as Neil was saying, it was a bit of a, not a hiatus, but a bit of balance of the game. I think that was a very, very timely goal for the Kangaroos.
They lead by 16 points after leading by 13 points at quarter time. Merritt didn't quite get his hands on the ball. Swallow can, finds Ferrito, hard worker in close, goes wide. Brown was looking for a free kick. Yeah, he's in the back, he bounces to his feet.
He's got the free kick.
He's got it. Tackled too high from Patfull. So Lee Brown, we've seen him play full-back, we've seen him play in the ruck, we've seen him play at full forward, kicked 6 goals in the opening round several seasons back.
Also plays on the ball, takes centre bounces, so he's very versatile, but they'll be looking for him to just do a little bit more. This is an important kick for him.
He's kicked 8 goals for the season. This will be a real lifter for the Kangaroos. It's the post. We might get to 6 again tonight. Is that a record 6 in a game, Neil?
No.
What's the record?
Years ago. That was about 11 or 12.
What, for one side?
For a game. You've hit the post 6 times yourself in a game, haven't you?
Never. Nottingham's got it. It's centre-half back. 7-9-51 the Kangaroos. The Lions are 5-4-34. They trail by 17 points. Here's Voss. Spears the ball in, looking for Bradshaw. Had to take a slips catch. Petrie wrapped up in that tackle by Selwood. Taken away by Harding. Ball bounces in the pocket's been marked by Brennan. Wasn't paid. He had a glancing look at the umpire.
Yeah.
Here's Petrie. Good tackle by Selwood. There's Brennan. He's got it. It was a clean mark. He can do some magical things, Jared Brennan. Unfortunately, wasn't rewarded.
Umpire was directly behind him, and he wasn't sure whether it spilled or not, and he just called a play on. It's a bad blow for the Lions this time of the game.
Kangaroos work it out of defence, and Watt provides the option just outside his defensive 50. Petrie his target. McIntosh just chipping in. Didn't want to let it go that far. As we've got 4 minutes to play in the first half. Kangaroos have wrested control after a burst from the Lions. Sinclair getting plenty of the football, going back. Pratt will spread it wider. Schwarz again. He doesn't really have an option. Had to wait, and Makepeace did the right thing by him. Just chipping it round, but their skill level higher than the Lions at the moment, so they're not turning it over just yet. Harvey. There's the turnover. Power. Scott. Power wanted to give and go. Scott wanted nothing to do with it. Stiller. To Brennan. 80 metres from goal. Sets are one-on-one Petrie and Bradshaw. Petrie did well again. Bradshaw comes in to try and keep it alive. Petrie just holding it in the area. We'll have a ball up 15 metres from the Lions' goal.
Shannon Grant dropped that mark out on the wing. He's having a dirty night. He's just a quality player, but he's just fumbled the ball tonight, and I don't know, Dean would be ripping his hair out when that ball was dropped. Seeing it go back towards Bradshaw.
Corey Jones is under all that. Green's kick has gone out of bounds on the full. It has. Lions kick from inside their 40, or just outside their 50. It's still up.
Acker wants the ball. Give me the ball.
He's got it. He'll kick from just inside the 50. Keeps it low, heads to the goal square, and McIntosh does the right thing by Ruckman and helps out the contest in the goal square.
We've just seen Jamie Charman come onto the ground, Neil and David. When Merritt goes into the ruck, could we see Charman go forward? Would that be a danger for the Kangaroos? Sinclair comes away. Didn't really hit a target. Powers pounced on it. Goes short. Looks for Harding. Young man, can he kick a goal?
I know Lee's tried that. Merritt started forward. I think they like Charman most of the time in the ruck, but that's an option for him. And I know Lee likes it, but he's gone off it in the last month or so. Maybe they just haven't been able to do the job for him.
Just when, instead of resting on the bench, maybe rest up forward alongside Bradshaw. Maybe Bradshaw could even move out. Coming through hard that time is Mel Michael. He's had his hands full tonight. Nathan Thompson has booted 2-3.
My disappointment has been Harding and Hooper not getting to the Bradshaw drops. I mean, Bradshaw's under pressure. No one's hitting the front there and making a genuine contest at ground level. You know, it's made for them.
Charman that time worked his way to the front. Swallow, impressive young player. Finds Corey Jones out in front. He was looking for Green. Voss has to close quickly. Finds Hale, quick snap. Now, the whistle is gone. There's a free kick. It's coming back. It's against Voss. Caught high. Casey Green. Well, he's kicked a goal in this second term. He's kicked 10 goals for the season, so Casey Green from directly in front should pop it through. Doesn't like it. Hits the post. There's going to be a record tonight. You can feel it in the air, David.
I can't believe that, though. And he is a good converter. He's a nice technique.
Yeah,
and
his technique's fine.
It looked good off the boot, and it still finds its way to the left-hand post. They're all left-hand posts, aren't they, I think?
3 in a row.
There's a big magnet in there for the ball.
Notting was the target from the long kick in from Drummond. Ferrito cleans it up. Here's Green. Back to Ferrito. Playing in front, Harding.
It's one of the differences at the moment that Kangaroos are able to find a Harding who can mark it or a Green that can mark it other than Thompson. At the other end, if Bradshaw doesn't mark the ball, they've got no one else in there. It looks like kicking a goal for them on the lead.
Harding lining up for poster number 4 for the quarter. So if we talk in reverse, he'll kick the goal, Kevin. If we say he's aiming for the post, he'll bang it straight through. 17-point lead has become 18. That's a disappointing finish again. Kangaroos could have really put some space between themselves and the Lions just prior to half-time here. They've got the momentum, they've got control of the game. Just haven't finished on the scoreboard. 7-11 to 5-5, so tells a bit of a story, and the Lions going straight down the middle. Nodding again, here's Harris, crumbing well. Gets support with Grant to Harvey, and even Harvey misses.
See, the big worry is, though, that you dominate a game, you're going at half-time, you're 19 points up. Neil will tell you this, and as a result, all your hard work, you're just not far enough on the scoreboard, and then you come out and all of a sudden the opposition kicks 1 or 2 quick goals, back to square one.
You're keeping them in the game.
Yep.
What's the word? On the scoreboard as well as in the mind. Mentally, they're staying in the game because of what you're not doing.
Guys, Dean Laidley has just come running down. He's sitting on the bench.
He's got 30 seconds to watch.
And it just shows you the last couple of kickers, the long kick in, back out, the long kick in up the middle.
We don't see it very often, do we?
Absolute disaster. It just gets belted back in.
And Ferrito doing it, the belting, this time Stiller for the Lions in front. And here's the turnover. So there's still time if Swallows quick. Not to be. Jones, Brennan the tackler. Ball spills free. Black, Voss. The old heads combine, but they run out of time. So Dean Laidley would be happy with what's happening at the clearance level. And be happy with the players getting their hand on the footy first, but just won't be happy about that last 3 or 4 minutes where they could have put the Lions away by half-time. But the margin going into the main break, the Kangaroos 7-12-54, the Lions 5-5-35. 2-7, still in at the Lions, but the Kangaroos still in control. We'll take a break from Telstra Dome on Saturday night. It's the Kangas in front.
Tonight on Fox.
I was alone and I was scared. I'm on the mark, I'm on the track, but getting tired of looking back.
Welcome back to the Telstra Dome for this round 15 clash. It's the Kangaroos up by 19 points. Let's find out exactly what's happening down at ground level. Here's Tiff.
Well, it appears Michael Voss could be struggling with a cold. He had half a ton of Vicks Vapor rubbed on his chest when he came up in that quarter, but he was not happy with his teammates. He addressed them for about a minute before they walked off the ground, and most of the players walked off with their heads lowered. His main point to them was that they must win the contested ball. They're being smashed in that area at the moment, and he thinks that that is the key to them winning tonight. I went down into the Kangaroo rooms, a really positive vibe down there, obviously stressing the importance of this quarter. Daniel Wells, who had a knock to his arm, he appears to be okay, a little bit ginger, but he should be fine.
Thanks, Tiff. And Justin Sherman gone to Daniel Wells on the wing, and there's Michael Voss. And Ferrito will head to him as per norm.
It's interesting because Ackermanis has gone to the middle along with Powell, but Black's still playing half forward.
Second half underway. Sharman and Hale, and there's Ferrito. Did well. So did Hale to get the kick quickly away. But Copeland in the hole takes the mark. And they play it on quickly to Drummond. There's a good kick. And finds Voss. He spots the player in the middle and misses his target. So it doesn't matter what he said at half-time and how much Vicks Vapor Rub he's had rubbed on his chest, he's turned it over. To Grant. To Simpson. Look at Watt go. Inside 50, Shannon Watt, shot on goal. Just didn't get enough on it. Wells was almost in the right position for a minute, but the kick had no real depth on it. And Sherman takes the mark.
Still, it's exciting and, you know, sets the scene that they're going to have a crack at it.
Moody caught in two minds. Back to Voss under pressure from Ferrito. Finally, ball forced over. We've got a boundary throw in. Underrated player, Ferrito. Big and strong. Good tackle here. Loose ball. Boundary throw in. Hale works hard to the front. Wells, dangerous. Backs himself in. A bit of magic. Tumbles the ball forward. Mel Michael did well to get a boot to it. Voss with a bit of strong body work, and Stiller finds Moody. Run will come from Sherman again, and just tumbles the ball off the boot. That's a weakness in his game. Here's Black. Beaten that time by Rawlings. Black yet to kick the ball. Just 3 handballs tonight. Notting. Wanted to give it off. Here's Acker. Maybe a bit of magic. Acker should kick a goal. That can lift the Lions. And we mentioned before, maybe Ackermanis after half-time, Neil, would go forward, give him that spark.
Oh, that was terrific play by the Lions, but sort of sums up the night Shannon Grant's having. Had possession of the ball, did a 360 and bobbed a handball in an area that was great for the Lions, but not great for the Kangaroos.
Ackermanis' first goal. The Lions get the first goal for the second half, 13th goal for the season for Jason Ackermanis. This is Charman affecting the clearance. Ball spins out. Sinclair, Hooper was with him. Sinclair just got boot to ball. Got it forward, Wells. Back to Rawlings. Sinclair again, he got it from Harvey. They're going backwards though. Perry decides he can go back through the middle. Ferrito off and going for a little while anyway. It's not pretty at the minute. Ferrito run down by Stiller. Ball still going in the right direction for the Kangaroos. Michael to Copeland. Short, Sherman. And the game being played in between the two 50s. Drummond. Players running themselves inside out, trying to get through. It's going back now to Sherman. We haven't gone far.
It's a revolving door.
It is. Justin Sherman, who, as Kevin mentioned, has turned it over a few times, but he can find the footy.
He's a ball magnet.
Good. That's not his best kick again. Boundary throw in. Harding looking on with Merritt and Brennan. And somewhere around there is Luke Power just stretching up. There's a whistle on play. Kangaroos off and going. They've got a mark. It's Green. He's just outside 50. Thompson into the hole, into the space. Gave Michael a chance to get out at the kick from Green. Copeland, line still under pressure. It's like a pinball machine. It's bouncing around off everybody. Ackermanis didn't want anything to do with it, just got rid of it.
Cleans up the risk at tally, booted 2 goals in that second term. Back to Drummond. Making hard work of it, the Lions. Here's Selwood, ripped off the ball again. Copeland tried to tap it down, but he was caught high, and Selwood will take the free. To Ackermanis. Beautiful kick on that left side. Here's Charman on the stretch. I like him to rest up forward if in fact they put Merritt into the ruck. Bradshaw. That lead's been ignored. So he found that time, still up. He finds Patfull, goes into the pocket, running with a fly. The ball is Moody. So a different avenue of attack for the Lions. He's booted 8 goals for the season. He's just playing game number 18.
That was a good clean, wasn't it? Well set up, well structured and well executed entry into 50. One of the better ones they've had for the night. I know it's a difficult scoring shot.
Moody, tight angle. right across the face of goals. Chimat's carrying the ball and it's out of bounds on the full.
The trouble is you give it back then, don't you? They get no score at all and you give it back.
Kangaroos by 13 points. That was the margin at quarter time. Margin at half time was 19.
And they have it in the hands of Daniel Harris. Petrie provides an option for him, and wider again is Schwarz. Oh, chip over the top. Rawlings just breaking away from Black. Black happy to see him go, I'd say. They just can't get any fluency going since they've come out since half-time, the Roos. They're spreading it wide, which they've done pretty successfully tonight. Heading out the other side. Hale to Sinclair. Gets on his left. And that's a good kick, because Makepeace is free. He runs to the 50. Makepeace needs it to curl back. It's still into the goal square, though. A chance for Green. He's still going. He gets a little shepherd. The tackle from Padfield. Harding tied up against the boundary. Nowhere to go. Padfield's still there. Into Selwood. Caught LBW. Great smother was from Brown. Black having a dark night, holding the ball, and a shot on goal, and Brown will take it.
Coaches love that. Coaches love pressure in the forward line. Stop the ball just rebounding out, and you're just happy with it if it comes out difficult. But the bonus is if you can lay a tackle and get a shot on goal.
I suppose he had prior opportunity, didn't he? He was just too slow, Blackie, to get the ball from hand to foot.
Brown, 40 metres out. Wastes the good effort that Neil was talking about, keeping the ball inside the forward 50, win a free kick and miss a relatively easy shot on goal.
This is the worry for the Kangaroos. They have dominated the game. They've had 20 scoring shots to 11, but they only lead by 14 points.
They're leaving the door open.
McManus has been pretty sharp in this third term as well. Stiller. Inside defensive 50. Coming off two great games against Carlton and Melbourne. Pops the ball out in front, looking for Drummond. Good play by Hale. Young man on the rise to Simpson. The skipper goes short. Great vision and awareness. But finds Schwarz, who's already kicked a goal, and he's shown he's a very, very good kick.
But Stiller's kick on the way out was a disaster. I mean, they had possession. It was a good lead into a space. He just over-kicked it, and now on the rebound, another shot on goal. And this boy's shown that he can kick the ball long, hard, and very straight.
He'll be shooting from right on 50. There's a good camera shot there. We can follow the flight of the ball. He's pushed it wide. He said he was a good kick.
He's kicked it short, wide, and very inaccurate.
And not handsome. We'll keep our mouths shut next time.
I will, KB, I will.
Me too.
Brad Scott for the Lions. He's in a spot of bother, but finally gets his kick. Perry works, Pat's going to the ball, then affects the spoil. Did well. Copybooks and half-back stuff. He's back in amongst it. He's got to beat 3 Lions. It's a rolling maul, and it's a ball up.
Well, I think Brisbane just got a bit of a sniff, haven't they? They're getting at it. They're certainly harder inside than they were in the first half of the game. They just haven't used the opportunities they created, but the game's got a little bit of balance about it now.
A couple of stars on the bench for the Kangaroos, just biding their time. Pascoff for the Lions, involved in that clash with Perry and Notting, and off with the blood rule. Sharman winning it to Selwood, and he just bangs it forward. Wells slips the handball nicely to Simpson. Spots a player running into space. Makepeace gets the bounce. Riscatelli just does enough, and that's a good diving mark for Harding. Hasn't been good in front of goal tonight.
Really good initiative there off half-back. The skipper didn't see Hale, who really pushed hard forward after that.
I thought he was headed for Hale.
Yeah, he didn't see him, but it was great running from Makepeace, just sort of set it up. You wouldn't be putting your money on this guy right now, but they can't keep missing. Someone's going to get a goal here, Kev.
Sooner or later.
Yeah.
7-13, and the last one went out of bounds on the full. 2 behind so far. Keeps it low. And kicks the goal. At last, for the Kangaroos. The 8th goal has taken an age. They finally got it.
Oh, there was a massive sigh of relief from the 18,000 Kangaroo supporters there. I could actually feel the wind come through the window.
Well, they deserve to kick a goal, the Kangaroos. They've wasted so many opportunities. $20-point ball game. Lee Harding has booted his first goal tonight. 17 goals for the season. Charman and Hale in the ruck. Voss sharked it. Met very solidly that time was Power. Popped one high. He'll take a free kick.
Terrific effort, wasn't it? Terrific effort to take the punishment, get the free.
He's a brave player, Luke Power. They may need to look at getting Acker back on, Kev. You know, he's had a bit of a rest. He started well.
Well, he's got sharpness, hasn't he? He's got leg speed, and we know he can kick a goal. Here's Charman, the juggler, needs support. Gets it from Moody, centering kick. Watt thought he had it and lost it. Voss. Here's Power, high ball. Going to go right to the line, some pushing and shoving. Through for a behind.
Well umpired. Both are pushing and shoving. Good strength, good match-up. Well umpired. Let it go.
Makepeace to bring the ball back into play. Kangaroos by 19 points, taken by Swallow. Squeezes it along the boundary line to Ferrito. Closing quickly that time was Riscatelli. Nearly half smothered the ball off the boot. Here's Harding. He's a dangerous player. Scott thought he had it and lost it. Casey Green's been a live wire across the half-forward line. This man is a star. Simpson finds Jones, who finds Thompson on that long lead. And he'll be shooting directly in front. Distance is no concern for Nathan Thompson. He'll shoot from just inside 50.
I love that. I think Jones's effort then, his natural inclination would have been to hook with the ball with his left foot. He was actually able to lay it off the outside of his boot to Thompson running flat out. Outstanding piece of skilled play.
Going for goal number 3. Leans back. Hits the post.
It's the post weekend, Kev. You know that. It's the post weekend.
And the left-hand post again.
I think that's 4 posters tonight. 6 last night for Melbourne.
They've really struggled, Brisbane, with their point kick-ins tonight. They just haven't had any real system and fluency getting out, and here the ball's been won back inside 50.
And the Kangaroos just trying to find someone to take him. Casey Green goes for one outside. And now Michael rushes it through. We'll have another behind, and they won't mind that at all with what you just said, Neil.
Well, Chris Johnson used to always be their designated kicker, and I think Adcock took over last year. He's only played the 1 game this year with the crook thighs, so I suppose the 2 guys they have earmarked for the post not there.
He's a good kick, Drummond.
No,
he's done it before, but you know, he's just back in.
He's a good point. Finds Voss this time. 21 points at the margin, 9.5 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. Kangaroos still inaccurate in front of goal.
No fluency. You say first kick, stop, prop, sideways. They just haven't been able to get anything going from here.
Moody, too much on the kick. Sinclair takes the grab. Always in the right spot. Chipping up towards Green, going back. The spoil was affected. Black handballing out. It was Powell going back. Once again, Sinclair. Through 3 of them. Wells. Back to Watt. The Kangaroos trying to get it to the fat side, and they're doing well here. Swallow. High ball. Big pack forming. Crumbing it, Ferrito. Got a call out the side. Wells is trying to run onto it. Simpson usually sets it up. Harvey. Rawlings, the 1-2 to Harvey. Still no possession. Jones lost it. Free kick. Pushing the back. Kangaroos shot on goal, or just outside the forward 50.
Just thought what a good player Wells here. Wells released a very quick, accurate hand pass to a bigger slow-bag in Watts, and then gave him the absolute direction immediately as to where the ball should go. I thought, what good leadership for a young kid like that.
Jones doesn't want to bar him having a shot on goal. Heads back to Ferrito, just trying to open things up a little bit.
Well, every player's in the Kangaroos front half now. Every single player on the ground.
Perry. And this is why the Kangaroos have been forced to go to the opposite side of the ground.
As a coach, what you're trying to do with this is try and get the ball in the hands of a really good kicker. You don't want, like there, it ends up with Pratt. It's probably not an ideal scenario.
You want a Shannon Grant or someone like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that was a poor kick inside 50 because
there's no one
kick
there.
it to anyone. Yeah. I mean, at least if you've got a teammate there and you kick it to some sort of advantage, but that was just kicked to two Lions players.
The Lions having real trouble getting it out of this back half of the ground, though. So it won't be long before the Kangaroos will get another shot.
Well, you've got to run with the ball, don't you? You've actually got to make your teammates run with you. You've got to actually make something happen, like Sherman. He's a runner. He should take them on.
Riscatelli got it from Sherman. Inboard to Moody. It's an open forward line for Bradshaw to run into some space. Petrie too good again in the contest. He got help from Makepeace. Hooper, that's a push in the back. Free kick, Kangaroos.
Silly free kick to give away. Kangaroos now with a chance in the arms of Brown. Comes way edge of the centre square. Penetrating kick. He's looking for Hale. Getting back is Drummond. It's been very good. That's possession number 20. He's taken 8 marks. Finds Stiller. So a couple of young guns strutting their stuff at the Dome. Hammers the ball in. Acker on the stretch. Couldn't take it. Back line standing up well. Peaches with the ball. Wrapped up in the tackle by Bradshaw. They've got a ball up. It was a head clash as well.
Sinclair.
Have a look at Riscatelli here. And Wells. Bang.
And Riscatelli has just come off because of that.
Well, it was a loss. They've got to get him back on. He's been one of their stars tonight. Here's Ackermanis. Had the ball half smothered. Kangaroos are good at that. Makepeace at ground level. Burrows in after the ball. Hooper. Maybe something from Hooper that David Parkin was talking about. Needs to work harder. Misses his opportunity.
Well, he's just got to get those, hasn't he? That's his bread and butter work. He hasn't had much of the ball. When he gets it, he's got to be a good finisher for a bloke of his size. Disappointing.
Kangaroos will just share the ball around Harding in the back pocket. Simpson's going to be the target. Sees the ball over for a toss back in.
The game's just gone into a sort of a holding pattern now for 5 minutes. Both teams just reluctant to really take the game on.
Still only a 20-point ball game, but do you agree, Neil, that Brisbane players have just got to take a few risks and run with the ball and try and create a bit of space? And
no doubt, it was a good call by and Sherman's the one that can do it. He can take the game on, and something will happen.
And Riscatelli can run with the ball as well.
Well, they have to, Kev. They're 20 points down.
It's a throw-in on centre wing. There's Lee, just sitting back. Merritt worked his way to the front, got his hands on the ball. Stuff in close. A lot of players grappling.
I get annoyed.
The ball up.
I get annoyed. We talk about the old days, Kevin, the old days of us, and those clearances, those contests in close now are tighter and harder and more difficult than anything we ever faced.
And Black has found that out tonight. He can't shake Brooke Rawlings, but he gets on away to Ackermanis. Stayed in play. Voss summed it up. The kick went off the side. Here's Hooper. He's away. That's not a bad kick.
He's got ability, hasn't he? I mean, he's got pace and he can bounce around. He's just got to let himself go.
Now, can we describe that classic there? Because the Voss handball actually went to Ackermanis, who was outside the ground.
Yep.
He came through and just collected the ball as he crossed into the ground through the interchange. It was a classic.
So you go there,
classic.
It'll be there.
Oh, I think he was outside. He's going to cost him 4 points.
So Pask was on the end of the Hooper pass, and he's trying to bring the margin back to 14, and that never in doubt for the young man.
Well, they needed that.
They certainly did need it, Neil. And Hooper lively, and that surprises me, that pass, given, you've seen him have a couple of shots at goal and not look like kicking it, and then he lays one out on the left boot, lace out.
It was beautiful, wasn't it? And it was under a bit of pressure, expectation. Blake coming straight at him, under the hammer from behind. He delivered perfectly.
Yeah, just open up the goal square to Pask. They've taken Bradshaw out to centre forward. They're going to give someone else a chance in the goal square.
Coaching move of the night, wasn't it, to bring on Ackermanis at that opportune time to take that handball from Voss? Coaches do those sorts of things.
Yes, we organise it all the time.
It's just a 14-point ball game. 63 plays, 49. You just get the feeling that the Kangaroos have been in charge, and the Lions just need one more goal.
If it became a running race, Neil, who would be the better prepared? Who would run stronger and longer? The Kangaroos?
I think so. Yep. I think the Kangaroos here. Yeah.
There's Swartz over the top. Speaking of running machine, he goes to ground, gets good support from Harris, finds Harding. Sherman, the tank, tries to run him down. Thompson paddles the ball long in front, bowled over that time by Mel Michael, taken away by Drummond. Starting to work hard in defence, the Lions. Got no one back, and McIntosh takes an easy chest mark to Sinclair. Possession number 24. Inside 50. And Harris outmarks Merritt.
He's a ball magnet, Jess Sinclair.
He is, isn't he?
Wherever he just runs around the ground, and the ball just seems to be lands in his arms. He's had a busy night, 24 again tonight, so he's on
6 marks as well.
And not a bad finisher. Reasonable finisher. Lifts them a bit sometimes, but quite a good kick.
Corey Jones, tight angle for Corey Jones.
Tough kick, left foot.
Squeezed right up on the boundary line.
I reckon it'll hit the post.
The left one.
Yes. We know it's going to hit the post, but which one? Here's Jones. Oh, we're very close to hitting the post now.
So he is fallible, Kevin.
Oh, well, he's the super coach.
8 goals, 16. That's a concern for Dean Laidley. They've still got control of the tempo of the game, and they looked a better team, but...
Same again, Brisbane getting bottled up with their point kick-ins.
The second kick's the risk they've got to take. Kick it quicker.
Sherman has it now for the Lions, and he's looking for a look. Gee, I don't know if that was the right one, but he gave it to Moody, and Harris just slipped there and just let Moody get away. Pat Full in front of Brown. His target is Brennan. And he spills it over the line.
It's hard to believe that Simon Black had 36 possessions last week. He's averaged 25 possessions. He hasn't had a kick so far tonight. He's had 5 handballs.
I guess you've got to give credit to Rawlings.
Yeah, you have to.
He's, like last week, Black's got the ball now.
Yep.
But last week he kept West to a very quiet game as well.
Here's Pask again. Perry right with him. Rawlings goes back. Nice work by Pratt, though. Kept his feet. Gave it to Sinclair. Kick just not quite right. Harding. Makepeace was there. Merritt. Hop, skip and a jump. Selwood. Spots a player in the middle. That's not 15. Play on. Moody. Just kicks it in hope, really. And should suit Petrie. And it does. That's a horror kick for a full forward.
Well, he's handy back there. Petrie may have found his niche. Here's a chance. Harding makes ground because he's quick. Cross half back. Finds Wells. Running with the flight of the ball. Held up in the mark by Copeland. 8-16, 64 the Kangaroos. 7-7, 49 the Lions. And Ackermanis charges down Pratt. Taken away by Hooper. Now Acker can strut his stuff. Unselfish play to power. Runs to 50. Close to 45. And has missed. Just tumbled it off the boot. And a missed opportunity for the Lions. Here's Sinclair. Again with the ball. 25 times he's had it in his hands. Finds Watt, coming off a great game last week against Brad Johnson. Kangaroos tell us he's the fastest player on the list. That surprised a lot of people. Corey Jones, beautiful hands, strong eyes. He's cross half back to Makepeace, Mr. Fix-It. Sharing the ball around now, Swallow. Keeping possession. Thompson That lead's been ignored. There he goes to ground. Good guarding the mark by Sherman. So it's take 2 for Swallow, 65 metres out. Again, he goes for Thompson this time. The big fist away. Pounced on by Black. Taken by Drummond. Now Moody. Some run for the Brisbane Lions. He's off and running. Charges, backs himself in. He's on the warpath, is Moody. He's on a mission. Heads for goals. He's off target.
It's funny, now they want a goal. A bit like the Kangaroos early and just before half-time. They want a goal, can't get it, can't buy one now.
But that was better play. I think that's what the younger players have got to do.
Kevin, great, yeah.
Run and throw off the shackles.
Moody and Sherman, particularly, and Richard Shelley, they've got to do it.
It would have been a handy goal right before three-quarter time. The clock will beat the Kangaroos trying to run it out. So the margin, 13 points at quarter time, 19 at half time, and it's back to a 13-point margin at three-quarter time. Goals still hard to come by for the Kangaroos. 1 goal 4 in that third quarter, coming off 3 goals 8, so 4-12 since quarter time. The Lions are still hanging in there, but the Kangaroos still have control of the game. It is a 13-point margin. We'll take a break, come back with the final quarter from Telstra Dome after this.
As the
Somebody stop me. I've been on overdrive all night. Ooh. This girl has got me and made me think it's summertime.
Welcome back, three-quarter time, and the Kangaroos lead by 13 points. Thompson and Wells got 2 apiece in the first quarter. Nothing to change that score sheet for them. Riscatelli, 2, the only multiple goal scorer for the Brisbane Lions. Sinclair's had plenty of the footy, together with Simpson and Drummond getting plenty for the Lions down back. There's been no real... Kangaroos probably should have put this game away, but the Lions have stayed in touch. They've had much more of the footy, David. 290, 60 more disposals. We know disposals can often be a terrible stat to look at, but they're going well at the centre breaks and the clearances.
Well, they've dominated, in a statistical sense, they've absolutely dominated this game, and I think Neil said early this will come back to haunt them when they missed multiples early, again before half-time, and really they are a third again as good as their opposition, Brisbane.
Let's find out what's happening down at ground level. Here's Tiff.
Well, the Brisbane Lions are trying to stem the blood from Marty Pasca's head. He came off there with in that quarter with the blood rule, but seems to be okay. That's the only real injury concern across both sides. 43-26. That's the interchange in favour of the Kangaroos. Dean Lady leads the competition with his usage of the bench. Every player comes off, gets a massage, so you'd expect them to possibly have the extra running in their legs for this last quarter.
Thanks, Tiff. Gentlemen, all went for the Roos at the start. Anybody change their mind? Kevin Bartlett?
No, I went for the Brisbane Lions at the start.
Did you? I forgot to ask you. Only asked Super Coach Neil Danaher.
I think they've still got a chance, the Lions, simply because they've wasted a lot of their opportunities, the Kangaroos.
Neil?
No, it's still Kangaroos. But what do you think, Dave?
No, I think that interchange thing's a very real thing. I don't reckon they will have the run. If anybody has the run, it'll be the Kangaroos. I'll be very, very surprised if the Brisbane Lions get up.
Let's quickly check the score from the game. The West Coast Eagles and Sydney. I'm going to show you a score. Replay's coming on Fox Footy. If you don't want to know the score, look away now. Set to go for the last quarter. Charman to do battle once again. In the middle, he was up against Hale. Simon Black's in and under, and we'll have a secondary bounce.
It's been a mutilation, and hasn't it? 30-17, I think, was the score in terms of clearances, and that's a domination for any team. So they've been harder at it inside Kangaroos for the night.
Brad Scott gets there this time for the Lions. Voss out the back to Riscatelli. Just tried to do the second one. The first one was the better option. Tried to do too much, holding the ball.
Great tackling pressure by Kangaroos early in the last quarter.
Ferrito's been good at that all night. He was told to play on, and the big man Hale rolls into a hole for him. Not frightened to use Harvey. First goal in this quarter, so important, given they've been hard to come by for both teams of late.
He's worked really hard, Nathan Thompson, to get on the end of that one. He's around about 150 metres, but he's still outside 50.
He's given it away, though. And that red alert continues, and that number continues to build as the mark is with Hale again.
A bit lazy then, the Brisbane Lions.
No, they were just expected to kick long towards the square, didn't they? They were just zoning off.
All of them. You know, not a single bloke went to him.
Yep.
There were 8 of them that could have taken 3 steps and got to him.
An important kick for David Hale. 8 goals, 10 coming into this game. His first shot on goal tonight. Just outside 50, keeps it low. It's not going to score, right to the line, and off hands and through from behind. So 8 goals, 17 for the Roos.
It'll be interesting to see whether they attack from here, or do they just stay with the chip.
Well, Drummond found Voss. Back to Drummond, just ambles away from half back. Getting back that time is Ferrito, running with the flight of the ball. Took a lot of courage. Rawlings intercepted that time by Power. Just don't have any players across the half-forward line. Ackermanis arrives, closed very quickly, but so does Sinclair. He squeezes along the boundary line, finds Swartz. Marks in front of Riscatelli. To Pratt. So happy to transfer the play.
They've done this very well all night. They've been open up the other side, and this is the critical kick now.
Perry and Simpson combined. This time Thompson out in front again. Got his hands on the ball. Mel Michael closed very, very late. Touch of the fumbles that time. Notting. Finds Moody, who is quick. To Stiller. Back to Moody. Can back himself in. Bounces to his feet. Hooper. Gets around Swartz. Runs to 45. Spears the ball in. Was looking for Pask. Hooper again. Quick hands. Can he kick a goal? Smothered off the boot. Kangaroos defence stands tight. And Sinclair happy to concede a behind. Quick as a flash. Here's on the rebound, and Harris takes it away. Goes short to Simpson. Still up. Just couldn't quite get a fist of the ball. Simpson so strong overhead. Makepeace runs hard from half back to Wells. Edge of the centre square. Here's Thompson's got the set up and away.
Another really good example of point kick-ins, Kev. I guess the Kangaroos get it in quickly. They've got it down the other end, and it's something they've been able to do just a little bit better than Brisbane tonight.
But both those opportunities, one created by Brisbane and one created by the Kangaroos, all came from run and risk.
Thompson should kick his 3rd goal directly in front. Big one for the Kangaroos. Started this last term straight through the centre. Well, it was a great passage of play, wasn't it? And this is a good kick. It's a beautiful kick, Daniel Wells.
Sums it up quickly, though. It makes a quick decision on how deep it needs to go.
But he's one of those guys who can kick the ball quickly through the air.
Yeah, look, as a coach, Kev, the kick inside 50 is a critical one. You just love your best players like Travis Johnson having the ball in your hands, and Wells is one of those.
3-4 for Thompson tonight. But importantly for the Kangaroos, they've got the first goal in this last quarter. And they get some breathing space. They get it out to 19 points. And they're trying to effect another clearance here. Sherman in the way. Riscatelli from the fumble. Chipping over the top. Doesn't find Charman. Over the top he had Hooper. He's a live wire. I'm just not sure where it's going when he gets it. Voss. Towards Bradshaw. Petrie right with him again. Sherman. Clever play by Bradshaw. The answering goal from Sherman. He goes to thank Bradshaw, and so he should.
He can cover the ground, though, can't he, Sherman? He galloped from somewhere up here in the edge of the square. He went nearly as quick as the ball travelled in the air, and he was there at the finish when it finally got there. Just a terrific effort.
He's had a terrific season. He's averaged 22 possessions a game.
His first goal for the evening. And his 8th goal for the season. He keeps the Lions in touch. A couple of goals out of it.
They won't go away, the Brisbane Lions. They trail by just 13 points, and that was the margin at quarter time. It was 19 at half time and 13 at three-quarter time, so a goal apiece in this last term as Charman will come charging in against Hale. Centre break so important. Voss put his body on the line, couldn't take control. Power, they just need a couple of old heads to combine. Here's Voss. Is there one last hurrah to Black? Yet to have a kick tonight. He's had 8 handballs. Voss, the tackler, finds Sherman, comes away with good vision. Looking for power, needs a kind bounce, closing quickly as Makepeace drives him into the ground. And there's a ball up on centre wing.
See, the Lions have put Ackermanis to the goal square, just hope for a bit of magic.
Well, with Bradshaw and Pask and Ackermanis, so they've got the marking options down there, plus the brilliance of Ackermanis. Harvey paddling the ball long in front, happy to head towards the boundary line for a toss back in.
Just under 23,000 here tonight, and the Kangaroo fans hoping for 4 in a row. They've still got a bit of work to do, but they're in the driver's seat. Nice ruck work again from Hale. Power. Stiller probably didn't really want it. They threw it on his boot to get it out of there.
Tell what,
he made ground.
Voss has been very tough in the clinches at the start of this last quarter. I tell you what, he's trying to lead from the front.
That's the Voss of old, wasn't it? He just bullocked his way through and forced a ball that he never took possession into his mate's hands.
Charman, it sits for him. He's trying to get it towards Voss. Ferrito read it nicely, though. Came from in front to the back. Look out, Shannon Watt. Bradshaw's got you. It's Schwarz.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Well, that's fascinating because the umpire from the middle of the ground, who wasn't actually in control of the play, called that in preference to the umpire who was in control, who was 5 metres off the side of it. That's interesting and very brave call.
It looked like he actually even threw the ball at the end, so I think that umpire probably had a better vision of it, Dave.
Bradshaw's kick. He squeezes it through. The Lions get closer. Ben Schwarz not happy. But the goal is there to Bradshaw. His second for the night.
And I'll never doubt Kevin Bartlett's call again.
Here we go. Here's Ferrito. Did well to get through. Schwarz just didn't see Bradshaw.
So he throws it.
Throws it out. Incorrect disposal.
The Kangaroos have answered all night, and they're going to have to again now to win the game.
It's hard to believe, but the Lions are within 7 points, 71 plays, 64. Hale and Charman again will eye each other off. Hale gets his hands on the ball. Black, can he lift for the Brisbane Lions? Rawlings dragged down by Voss. Has been great in this last quarter as the Lions send it forward. Getting back was Makepeace. What? He is quick. Comes away from half-back. Finds Petrie, rockets the ball long, looking for Jones, didn't really hit a target. He was looking for Makepeace, and here's Sherman again. Is it Moody? Make this Moody this time. Good kick, running with a flight is Notting. Traps it right on 50. Here's Acker! Great kick by Notting. Now, when Acker kicked his goal in the second term, he didn't really celebrate. Will he celebrate if he kicks this? That's the Acker of old. Fist in the air. And the Lions are within a point. Two goals to Ackermanis. He's probably been down in the dumps lately with all the criticism, Neil, but he just might be the match winner tonight.
I think they put the clearance form back in the drawer on that kick.
Yeah, no, he's been thrown the challenge in the goal square, and Wells has now been thrown in the middle. So both coaches looking for their best players to lift.
Lee Matthews a bit more animated, and why wouldn't he be? There's still a bit of work for Dean Laidley to do. 1 point the margin, and the centre clearances are where it's changed. So crucial now. Wells in there. Towards Riscatelli. Scott. He's trying to paddle it back. Here's Wells. There's that quick decision. That's outstanding. That is outstanding footy.
I watched Harvey then. They all careered in, everybody going for it. One bloke had one look, said, one more's not going to help here. He got off the back and on his bike before Wells had even thought about gathering, and that was Harvey. Got into the space in front of goal, and Wells, being the player he is, side him and find him beautifully with the ball.
1-1 to Brent Harvey tonight. Crucial kick to get it back out to a 7-point game. Needs to hit it straight. It's never in doubt. He answers well for the Kangaroos. And the move, Neil, to get Wells into the middle, paying quick dividends.
Yeah, Dan will be very happy with that. He's probably not going to win the crunch ball, but when the ball just spills out like it did, he just swooped onto it. And not just winning it, what he does with it. You know, he just popped it over, and there's not too many players out in that ground can do that sort of stuff.
The thing that he's good at is that he doesn't fumble. He's a one-grab player. Kangaroos answering the challenge for that man on screen. He's been a great goal kicker. Let's go down the Tiff.
Michael Riscatelli's just come off after that clash in the middle of the ground. He's in the hands of the doctors, looking at his right shoulder at this point in time.
Well, that's a blow, because he's been a very good player tonight. Kangaroos by 7 points. Voss, can he rally the troops once more? Black finds Harding, goes wide. They find some space. This man can run. Sherman, he loves to back himself in. To Power. Drops it in short. Finds Notting. From outside 50. Hammers the ball in. Ackermanis at the back of the pack can look dangerous. Boundary throw in. Chance for the Lions. Just 5 metres around from goal. Charman to the front. Acker paddling the ball along in front. Trapped. Somehow gets it out to Moody, who kicks a goal. Let's lock the draw that's got that contract, David. Bolt it.
Acker again, just able to get his hands on the ball at a stop play. Set it up for Moody. Who had a lot more time than he thought. He was waiting for someone to come at him. He said, no one's coming at me. I just might slot this one.
I think he was surprised himself, wasn't he?
Just didn't fall over here, Acker. It was really important not to fall over. Out it comes.
Still some concern for Riscatelli. There's the collision. Just right on that shoulder, the AC joint. And he's still getting worked on, but his team is back to within 1 point. Tim Notting gone forward for the Lions as well. Charman in there. Black gave it to Voss, and again the senior players rising. Harding to the goal kicker in Moody. Ackermanis in the goal square. Bradshaw further up the field. Bradshaw is the target. Now Ackermanis. Clever kick. Just let him run onto it. Didn't try and spear him like Notting did. Just let him run onto it, but it's a tough kick from here. Tough kick for Ackermanis. Goes the drop punt. Hits the post. Left-hand post once again. Kevin, how many?
5.
Scores level at the Dome. Hard to believe. The Kangaroos have had control of the match right from the get-go. But the Lions pressing in this last term. We've got 11 minutes remaining. Go, Tiff.
Sorry, Riscatelli's gone out into the rooms for further treatment on his shoulder.
Thanks. Plenty to come yet, Kevin.
Well, they're in this game because I reckon Voss at the start of this last quarter rallied the troops. He got in so hard at the centre bounce. A couple of times got his hands on the ball, and he has set the scene. And they have rallied behind Voss, and Ackermanis has risen to the occasion.
Kangaroos are just going to try and keep hold of the footy. They don't want the Lions to get hold of it. They can sense that the momentum was with Brisbane, so they're just going to try and keep hold of the footy.
Well, Sinclair has had a lot of it tonight. Possession number 28 coming up. And the Brisbane players look to be trying to man up as fast as they can. Harris at centre-half back has to go very, very wide. Finds Perry, who's off and running, kicks to a contest. And Patfull gets a big fist to the ball.
Dean Laird to be disappointed with that decision by Perry. He could have easily just chipped it up to a bloke who led up, but he kicked it to a one-on-one. Good thing it's a stop play.
Charman, too big and strong that time for McIntosh. Copeland on hands and knees. Wild handball, found Watt. Ferrito pushed off the ball. Caught high that time was Green. Have to take the free kick. Between half-back and centre wing, scores a level at the Dome. 9.5 minutes left. Kangaroos going for 4 on the trot. Voss closed quickly. Make-piece marks in front. Harvey was the target. Was he pushed out that time by Scott? He propped in front. Bit of experience. Now goes short. Wastes no time. Finds McIntosh. He's kicked 6 goals for the season.
Scott didn't have to do that, did he? I mean, the ball was over the head and he was just
overcommitted?
Overcommitted, undisciplined in the sense that he was never going to be in the contest for it.
McIntosh kicked up behind in the second term. He'll be shooting from right on 50. Wobbles the ball into the goal square. Too much carry on it. The back of the pack. Moody. Finds Drummond. Does well. Gets around Wells. Onto that trusty left boot. Great kick. Finds Harding. Who can run? He can back himself in. Ackermanis is going to be the target again. Open forward line. Can Acker kick this and put the Lions in front? Stands on 48. Starts to bend it back. Acker, you are a star. You're back.
Just the length of that kick from Drummond. If you've got a player coming out of your back half, he'd get over a line. It just opened up the whole thing, didn't it?
The state of the game at the moment is that Brisbane are trying to win the game. You know, Kangaroos are trying to hold. Probably it's a good thing right now that the Lions in front. It just changes the mindset of the Kangaroos. They know they now need to attack the game.
Ackermanis 3 goals in the second half. Michael Voss is trying to lead from the front, whether it be at three-quarter time, half-time, or at the start of this quarter, in at the centre square. Now the Kangaroos have got to take some risks and get back to attacking footy. Neil Danaher, our special guest in the commentary box. Power couldn't break free. Rawlings has been outstanding. He's shut Black out of the game. Back to Voss. They combine. Moody back to Power. Nowhere to go. That's a poor kick. Stiller not going far. Harris gets up and goes. Rawlings got a call. Sinclair off the boot. It's a clever kick. Thompson a chance. Michael the spoil. Where's the crummer? The tackle is good on Harding. They want holding the ball. They're going to get it. Where's his prior opportunity? He had it for half a second.
He said it spilled out and he re-pulled it back in again. We had the back to us. That may have been fact.
No.
Looked dynamite. Looked absolute dynamite.
A good tackle, but no prior opportunity. We'll move on. Stiller.
The Lions are now in the risk of playing too safe too. You know, they now will try and save the game, and we'll see the Kangaroos attack. But we've got a lot of footy left to be played in this quarter.
We've played just over 20 minutes in this final term. Kangaroos led by 13 points at quarter time, 19 at half time, and 13 points at three-quarter time. And now they trail by 6 points. The Lions are in front. On the stretch is Charman. Some big names are standing up for the Brisbane Lions in this last term. Charman stands and delivers. Belts the ball in. Right to 50 is Petrie against Bradshaw. Black somehow squeezed it out. Finds Notting. Chances on Adola. Runs through 50. Runs to 45. Kicks a poor one. A wasted opportunity. Again, it just tumbled off the boot and through for a behind. Kangaroos with Wells to bring the ball back in. Brisbane Lions setting up the wall. They find space through Makepeace. 12-12-84 the Lions. 10-17-77 the Kangaroos. They dominated the first three quarters. Just didn't quite get the score on the scoreboard. Maybe some risk-taking now. Makepeace through the centre square. Kicks the space. Notting can trot after it. Green's got to make ground. Bang! Down he goes. Big hip and shoulder from Notting. Hooper just tried to spike it over the back. Was that a throw? Not paid. Kangaroos with a chance. Notting strutting his stuff now on centre wing. Finds Voss. Slips catch. Rockets the ball wide to Sherman. Backtracks and conceded ground. Finds Brennan, who unloads on that big left foot. Here's Acker! Another big fly. Anything is possible for Ackermanis tonight. McIntosh comes away from centre half back. Scott, he's got Harvey to beat. Held him off the ball. Oh, good play by Harris. He had three to beat. He sets it up to Wells. Oh, bang! Down he goes, caught high. Bounces to his feet. That's good to see. He was sliding. Goes wide, finds McIntosh. He stands outside 50. Grant didn't quite go for the ball. He looked at the opponent, pulled off the ball. And Voss. Talk about leadership. He has been great in this last term. Closed quickly that time.
Another good leader.
And
Simpson.
Simpson has been great. Black's trying to lift his ratings as well.
Well, Shedden Grant, especially last year, it's been the man that they've gone to, and he's kicked goals late in games to get the Kangaroos over the line. They'll be looking for him tonight as well.
Voss again, the clearance out in front of Moody. He's held on. He doesn't want to bar it. He's just going to keep going. He's taking on Schwarz, but here comes Schwarz. He's got him. Play on. Sinclair out towards Harris. Gets past Harding. Harris trying to get something. Two players in the middle. Out came Copeland. He kept going, Copeland. Now it's Notting. Makepeace arrives. Copeland. Hooper in his way. He's still going. Hooper to the goal square. Petrie takes the mark right on the line.
Just didn't have enough power in the leg to kick it.
7 points the margin inside 4 minutes. Now it's going back and forth very quickly. Simpson, terrible kick. And Power wants to slow it down and just give everyone a bit of a breather.
Look at Voss. How good has Voss been in this last quarter? That's now possession 28.
Not for the quarter, Kevin.
No, but I tell you what, he has been magnificent.
This is Stiller. Certainly takes his time. Heads to the outer side. Charman the target. Brown over the top. Perry there. Copeland kept it in. Swallow gets past Black. Did well, the young man. This is Makepeace. Outside his 50. Spots up. McIntosh, he's got him. The bench, they're ringing the changes. The Roos have got to get a couple of goals. They kick to a contest. Chipping in Grant. Wells is away. 70 metres from goal. 60. He gets inside 50. He heads to the square. A chance for Harding. Clever kick. Harding's got it. And he can get the Kangaroos back to within a point.
Exciting football by Wells, wasn't it? He summed it up. He had too far out to kick the goal. He's got Thompson coming at him. He looks beyond that. Where is Harding? He gives a fantastic kick. And now we've got a 1 point game.
Came straight off the bench for Green, straight into the action, kicks the goal, 1 point game. Anything is possible.
And you love it because there's been some absolutely superhuman individual efforts now by players from both sides, and we've got a really exciting contest because of it. They've all come to play when it was necessary to play. Young, old,
important is this next centre bounce?
Just over 2 minutes left. This centre bounce is a big one.
Well, you called it, Neil, and the only team that had a good meeting were the Brisbane Lions. They had a fair dinkum meeting before this bounce.
They lead by a point, 84 plays, 83. Taken away by Black, smothered off the boot. Scott tried to smash the ball on, maybe should have grabbed it. Wrapped up in the tackle. Numbers could win out for the Lions. Kangaroos equal to the task. Bodies on the line. Hooper, loose ball. Can he pick it up with clean hands? Notting can. Hammers it inside 50. Is Acker. That's going to be a free. No free to Acker. It's bouncing to the line. Wow, that's the thrill of the grass. It's through from behind. Look at Acker peeling for it. But the Kangaroos have the ball. They're on the rebound and the charge. It's in the hands of Harvey. Goes to the half-forward line. Brown came out. Kicked off the ground. Look at Sinclair. Does a 360. Hammers the ball in. Look at this for a kick. Finds Grant. He is a go-to man in a crisis. Stands outside 50. Backs himself in. Look at this for a kick. The go-to man hits the post. Number 6. Scores a level.
No, one
point the difference. Take a breath, Kevin. 85 plays, 84, 12-13 to 11-18.
Can't be any loose men now from the Kangaroos' point of view. They've just got a man up. The Lions will try and keep possession.
Drummond's going short.
They've got to force them to kick it long.
Marks in front of Harding. Time clock ticking away. 65 seconds left. Can they keep possession? Finds Harding. Boss is in the back half.
The young boy's got it. He'll be a bit nervous with the footy.
Lee Matthews is a bit nervous. Squeezed it along the boundary line. From behind. Taken away that time by Pask. Finds the run of Stiller to Sherman. To Power. A Wisehead's got it. Doesn't hit a target. Black with those sure hands to Moody, who loves to run with the ball. Runs to 50. Ackermanis is going to look dangerous. He's got the sit at the back. Too much carry on the ball with Pratt. And Acker grimaces. It's good to see. He's still got some passion. Boundary throw in. Here's Acker. Last time, was it a free? Looked like it was over the shoulder for mine. Boundary throw in. Charman trying to get his hands on the ball. Taken away by Makepeace. Just 19 seconds left. They've got to move it. Simpson pumps the ball. The edge of the centre square. There's a big contest coming up. Brown couldn't take it. Power can. I think they're home. Whoa!
Deliberate.
Free kick deliberate. They've got 6 seconds. Watt's got it. Brisbane Lions players are flooding back. He's got to kick it long. Look at this pack of players going up. It's McIntosh. Time's going to beat the Kangaroos. And the Brisbane Lions have pulled off a big win at the Dome. Outclassed and outgunned for 3 quarters. Kangaroos could not put him away. And that man on screen, Michael Voss there, was simply magnificent, David, in that last quarter.
If you talk about leadership when it counts, I think the physicality that he applied at the beginning of that quarter set the standard and the approach, and they really end up winning a game. You'd say that the Kangaroos control for probably 60% or maybe even higher, and they get up because of absolute leadership by their leadership group, who did superbly things. So it, as you called it, Kevin, you thought they were a snip. I think it goes right back to the beginning when you have a chance to put the team away early in the game and you fail to do so. They kept Brisbane alive by the ineptness around the goal, and in the finish they gathered enough momentum and enough confidence that they could do the job. And I was interested in Neil's comment as one team tried to defend it and lost the momentum, and another team said, well, to win it now we've got to take an attack, which they did. And it was a terrific game in the finish. It wasn't a great game up until 3/4 time, but we had a great contest and some terrific, courageous, very skillful footy.
Let's head down on the ground. Here is Tiff Cherry with Jason Ackermanis.
Well, we just said it's a stroke of genius by a coach to shift your board in the last quarter there.
He's good, isn't he, Lee? What about the surface? How good's the surface?
Well, I was going to say to you, you bagged it through the week. What did you think tonight?
Well, it's still a little chippy, but, you know, I don't know if it's ever going to be perfect, but it doesn't matter. We won. That's the main thing.
Now, coming into this game, only percentage separated you guys, and it seems tonight only the goalpost.
Yeah, very, very even contest. But you're right, they missed a lot of opportunities again, probably for them, and we've had a few. We let off the hook. But having said that, they had a 6-day break, and we ran a bit better.
Now, it was fantastic from the sidelines. What was it like in the middle? Was that one of the best games this year?
It was a great fighting game. You know, we weren't in it for a while there. Second quarter wasn't real good for us, but we just kept at it, and win's a win.
Now, mate, that actually breaks a 5-game losing streak in Victoria, which is also important coming into the final.
Well, it is. Well, we want to be there, but you know, we are developing well. A lot of things not going our way, but the boys tonight should be proud of that, and that's the future. You know.
Good to see a smile on your face.
Oh, it's great to smile. Thanks, guys. See you, sweetie.
Saturday, live and exclusive from noon.